Hi, folks. This is Don Meissner with the North Country Fishing Report. You know, one of the things we might not realize, and I think it's important if we want to be a better fisherman to understand this, is that fish don't hit all the time. In fact, on any given day, most of the time, they won't be actively feeding. There'll be certain peak periods, and I think generally speaking, the first part of the day, early morning, and then again just before sunset. These are usually, if you had to pick any time to be on the water, these would probably be your best bets. But during the day, there may be periods of 1 to 2, even 3 hours where you can cast and troll and so forth. Nothing seems to be hitting. And you're like, wow, what's wrong? Well, nothing's wrong. It's typical that all, not just fish, but birds and animals and even us as people, we don't spend most of the day eating, or if we did, we probably couldn't get out of our own way. And it's the same thing with these other beings. But also, there are periods, and I found in my fishing life that it's like every couple hours, especially with northern pike, but with all species. All of a sudden, something will trigger a very active spree. And they all seem to want to play at the same time. I've often wondered, how come fish in this part of the pond and way over, past where I think they can hear, obviously see, fish are acting the same way. And they'll all go on a feeding binge at the same time. And this happens. The other thought about why this happens is in most closed water system, I think fish have a everyday activity route that they follow, whether it's looking for fish or whatever. But I remember sitting along the bank and not moving at all at different ponds in my life, and I could count on those fish would return, and I think they circle it. Whatever the reason is, just understand that most of the time, fish are not active. You might be able to trick some of them into doing something, into becoming active, hitting your lure because it's irritating them, or hitting your lure because it just evokes curiosity or whatever. But most of the time, they aren't eating. And just be prepared for long periods of time where you might not be catching fish. It doesn't mean you're not having a wonderful day. It just means that there's always those unknown elements to fishing that make you keep coming back. If all they did was hit all day, you'd get bored. You wouldn't have the challenge and you wouldn't have the experience. But because they don't, I think it makes fishing more fun, more creative, and more, I guess, beckoning. Until next time, folks, this is Don Meissner with the North Country Fishing Report.